Well, the long-awaited video is here.
Tiffin versus Newmar. Newmar versus Tiffin. The smackdown is on. Here we go. Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Stacy.
I'm Tom, and we're RV Texas, y'all.
We are native Texans and full-time RVers who are all about exploring the great state of Texas and beyond, one campground at a time. We're on a mission to experience life, not just live it, and we're bringing you along for the fun.
In 2018, we sold our house, our business, and got rid of most everything we owned to hit the road and see America. Our home is a 33-foot RV named Freedom. We installed an extreme solar and lithium setup, so now we can just about live anywhere with our dog Star and our cat Astro.
Every day is a new adventure, so join us as we RV America, y'all. Okay, before we get too far into this video, especially for our new folks who are joining us today, I feel like we need to be very specific on what we're talking about here. We owned a 2017 Tiffin Breeze 31BR from 2018 to 2021. We lived, worked, and traveled full-time in it for 2.5 years. In 2021, we bought a 2021 Newmar New Aire 3343, and we have now lived, worked, and traveled full-time in it for over a year. In that time, we've had a lot of people ask us for our opinions and comparisons between Tiffin and Newmar, Breeze and New Aire. Now we feel like we have enough experience with each that we can really give you a good opinion. So that's what we're going to do today.
Absolutely.
Now we understand that there may be some folks who are really interested in the Breeze versus New Aire comparison, and there might be other folks who are more interested in the higher level Tiffin versus Newmar comparison. So what I'm going to do, we're going to talk about both of those things, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chapter links in the description of this video, so if you want to jump around, you can, or if you want to go back and watch something again, you can do that as well. Hopefully that'll make it really easy. Now, what we're going to talk about here is Breeze versus New Aire. We're going to talk about Newmar versus Tiffin. We're going to talk about our customer service experience with each. We're going to talk about Red Bay, Alabama, which is where Tiffin is manufactured and where their service facility is. We visited there twice. And we're going to talk about Nappanee, Indiana, where Newmar is manufactured and where their customer service center is, and we were just there a few weeks ago. And finally, toward the end of the video, we're going to give our overall perspective and opinions of each of these things. So, stick with us. Here we go. First, let's talk a little bit about the Breeze versus the New Aire. Now, actually, there's quite a bit they have in common. They're both smaller Class A diesel motorhomes, which is what attracted us first and foremost to both models.
Absolutely. And both the models we had a midship bathroom too. So only one bathroom in the middle. I think there might be a New Aire now that has a bath and a half, but that's brand new in 22 or 23.
Right.
But no, and they were both, like Stacey said, small. The Breeze was 31 feet. Our New Aire is 33 feet. Of course, that's why we chose them, so we could get into a lot of state and national parks. So very similar there.
They also both have opposing hydraulic slides in the living area and electric slide in the bedroom.
Yeah, so they both have the exact same number of slides.
They both have a very similar floor plan. There's only so much you can do with that space and fit everything in, because these are significantly smaller, both the Breeze and the New Aire, than most other Class A diesel motorhomes.
Yep.
So, there are a lot of similarities, which made the transition for us between the two really pretty simple.
Yep.
So now let's talk about some of the differences. First of all, size is a difference. Even though it doesn't sound like a whole lot, we went from a 31BR Breeze, which was 31.5 feet long, and 11'7" tall, and it was a little bit more narrow than your standard Class A motorhome as well, so it was smaller all the way around, to a 3343 model New Aire, which is 33 feet 10 inches tall, We are 12 foot 3 inches tall, 33 foot 10 inches long, 12 foot 3 inches tall, and we're the standard width of a Class A motorhome, so a few inches wider than the Breeze. It doesn't sound like a whole lot when you're listening to the numbers, but the New Aire feels a lot bigger to me than the Breeze.
Well, one reason why it feels a lot bigger is it's 15,000 pounds more than the Breeze. Than the Breeze that we had. The current models of each company, I think the difference is about 13,000 pounds. But in our case, it's a 15,000 pound difference. So when you're going down the road, that does make a big difference. The wind doesn't blow you around as much. The 18-wheelers flying by you don't have as much effect on you as it did in the Breeze. Not that it was a problem in the Breeze, but you definitely felt it a little bit more in the Breeze.
Right. And so we should also say that we just learned that in 2023, Tiffin has done away with the 31BR model of the Breeze. They are going to focus on the 33BR, which is 33 feet long and change, close to what we are now in our New Aire. Newmar had already done away with the 33-foot model of the New Aire. We believe we actually have the very last of the 33-foot New Aires.
Yeah.
They focus on a 35-foot model of the New Aire. So, still small by diesel motorhome standards, but there have been some changes recently compared to what we have owned.
Yeah, and what we owned too, back when we had our Breeze, it was a Cummins 275 horsepower. Now we have a Cummins 360 horsepower.
In the New Aire.
In the New Aire. The update to that is the Tiffin models nowadays have a 340 horsepower, and the New Aire has a 400 or 450, excuse me, a 450 horsepower. So they've upgraded both of those things. The 450 was available when we got ours, but you had to get the 35-foot model, which we didn't want to do that. That's why we got the last 33.
Right. So, but yeah, it is amazing to me how much bigger the New Aire feels than the Breeze. So if size is really what you're going for and you really want to stay small, that is definitely something to consider. We are still small compared to most of our friends that have Class A diesels, but it feels significantly larger than when we had our Breeze 31BR.
Well, where it doesn't feel larger is when we're going down the road and all the slides are in and stuff. Due to the bigger furniture and stuff on the New Aire, we have very little room to go down through the middle to get to the bathroom and everything. We can do it.
Right.
But with the Breeze, we had quite a bit more room. It was a lot easier for Stacy to go to the back and get something, or if she had to go to the potty or whatever, it was easier in the Breeze.
That is very true. So, let's move on. Now let's talk about appliances. So, in the New Aire, in the Breeze that we had, the 2017 model did not have an option for a washer and dryer. That was a big challenge for us as we were considering what we were going to buy to move full-time in. We owned a Thor Palazzo prior to that had a washer and dryer in it, and we really thought about living in it. Do we want to be without a washer and dryer? At that point in our lives, we decided to go without the washer and dryer so that we could get into the smaller package that the Breeze offered. Today's Breeze, you do have the option of adding in a washer and dryer. The New Aire we have a washer and dryer in our New Aire. The big difference in appliances, in my opinion, between the two today is that we have in the New Aire a full-size residential refrigerator. The Breeze had a residential refrigerator and it worked great, but it was basically like an apartment size, because remember, the Breeze is significantly shorter in height and everything as well, and it's the refrigerator sits in a slide. The slide is elevated. It's not a flat floor like in the New Aire. So there's only so big of a refrigerator that they can fit in the Breeze.
Yeah, so we knew we couldn't really get a bigger refrigerator if we decided to buy a new Breeze, or we couldn't even modify ours to get a bigger refrigerator. We looked into all that. I mean, the height is where the biggest issue was. And also, with the New Aire, there's more exterior storage space because of the height also, and a little bit of the length, which gave us the room to get something I really wanted, is an exterior refrigerator freezer on the outside, which we have on the New Aire. It wasn't an option on the Breeze. I don't know about the new Breezes, if they've made it to where it could be an option. I don't know if they have the room to make that happen, but we were able to do that, and that, to me, was a big plus.
We tried to add one in on our Breeze. We actually had a company send one to us a few years ago. They actually sent us the wrong size.
Yeah.
Had they sent us a smaller one, we think we could have made it fit.
On the outside is
on the
what Stacey's
outside.
talking about.
But it is nice to have.
Yes, yes.
Another difference between the New Aire and the Breeze is the insulation. The New Aire is really a four-season coach. It has Newmar builds with basically residential insulation, and there is additional R-value insulation in the tops of the slides and things like that. Now, the good of that is the New Aire is quieter on the inside. If we're parked somewhere near a train or a highway or somewhere that's a little noisier, it's not that we don't hear those things necessarily, but we don't hear them as much as we heard them with the Breeze. Also, in the heat of the summer, the cold of the winter, our air conditioners or our heaters don't have to work quite as hard because the coach does have better insulation in the Newmar versus the Tiffin. The downside to that is our upper storage compartments up ahead of us here. They are a little they're not as tall because we do have insulation and things that runs
in the tops of the cabinets.
The tops of the cabinets, and so we did actually have to downsize some of our kitchen items more going into the New Aire from the Breeze, which was surprising to me.
But another kind of on that front, when you're talking about heating and cooling and everything, the biggest difference to me between the Breeze and the New Aire is the New Aire is all electric. The Breeze is not all electric, so you have propane on board. We really wanted to go to all electric. We absolutely love that. In fact, once we got the New Aire, I had a lot of cooking stuff, that propane cooking stuff. I got rid of all of it. I didn't even want to carry a little canister of propane. If we were going to be all electric, I wanted this to be all electric, and we are. And I don't miss that propane at all. In fact, we got a grill we used last night that's an all electric Blackstone.
Right.
That maybe one day I'll show you guys that because it has been terrific. So we don't miss the propane at all. And so we actually, you think that may limit us on how we can heat the coach, but no, it doesn't, because our heater is an Oasis and it uses the diesel fuel for the burner in it. So if we need that, just like the propane was used for the Breeze, we just use our diesel fuel. So we actually, in this coach, have just as many more ways to heat the coach, because in this coach, we got floor heat also.
Right.
So we have our heat pumps on the roof, which we had in the Breeze.
Right.
But we have our Oasis, which can also be a furnace if we need that.
Right.
And we have the floor heat.
Right.
And we have the
electric fireplace, which we had in the Breeze.
But we have as many options, but actually one additional. So heating this coach during the winter was absolutely no problem whatsoever. And cooling it during the summer is no problem either. The air conditioners are awesome.
And that is another similarity, actually, because both of the Breeze and the New Aire come with 2 air conditioners.
Right.
With heat pumps.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about, now you mentioned the New Aire being all electric. That means that the New Aire comes with 8 house batteries. And that's standard. The Breeze today comes with 4 house batteries. Our Breeze in 2017 actually came with 2 house batteries as standard, because the option The original option was not a residential refrigerator, but an RV refrigerator that could also run off the propane. The original owner of our Breeze, hey Brian and Loretta, we happen to know them these days,
Yeah.
they optioned in for the residential refrigerator in the Breeze, so that upped the battery count to 4.
Yeah, so actually it did come with 4, it didn't come with 2. But
Right.
what Stacy was trying to say there is the standard model of Breeze that year only came with 2.
Right,
With the upgrade, you could get it to 4. But now I think the Breeze's standard are 4.
right. And the New Aire is 8,
standard with 8.
because it's all electric.
And of course, y'all know, and we have other videos, we'll link to some of our solar videos too. We no longer have those 8 house batteries for this because we went to a full lithium package, lithium and solar. But
That's another topic.
that's another topic.
And I'll link that video in the description in case you'd
But
like to see it.
that helped when we did this. We had more room in the bays to be able to make that switch to lithium and more room on the roof for the solar. So
true.
that was another big plus to going with the New Aire versus the Breeze.
Right. Another difference between the New Aire and the Breeze are the windows. The New Aire is known for its large windows, and you can maybe see one here behind us. We had to pull the day shades because it is pretty bright outside today, so purpose of the video. But the windows in the New Aire are massive, and the newer model New Aires, even newer than our 21, are even bigger with the windows.
Yeah.
The downside is a lot of them don't open. And in our case, we have 2 windows on either side of us here that open. We have a window next to the front door that opens, and our bedroom windows open. In the newer models of the New Aire, a lot of them really have very few windows that open. The Breeze, the windows weren't as big, but all of the windows open. So if you want a breeze through your coach on a pretty day, that was really nice. Now, I have been surprised by how good of a breeze we can get
Yeah.
by having our windows open. Our bathroom window also opens, by the way. But that is a definite difference between New Aire and Breeze.
For sure. And it's a plus and a minus.
It is a plus and a minus. Couple more differences real quick between the New Aire and the Breeze, and then we'll get to the whole Newmar versus Tiffin bigger picture. The New Aire has a 10,000 pound towing capacity. It is a heavier duty chassis than the Breeze.
Yeah.
Our Breeze, our 2017 model, had a 4,500 pound towing capacity, and the new model Breezes have a 5,000 pound towing capacity. What that means for us is when we had our 1999 Jeep Wrangler 2-door, that was easy for us to tow behind our 2017 Breeze. It was not a problem at all. But now we have a Jeep Gladiator. We would not have been able to tow the Jeep Gladiator with our 2017 Breeze.
Yeah.
It would have exceeded the tow capacity.
Right. Right. So we have a lot more capacity there, which is nice. We could have even gotten a bigger truck if we wanted to, because 10,000 pounds is quite a bit. So we don't even know it's back there hardly, other than my rear camera shows me it's back there.
So if you have a small tow vehicle, it's not a problem. But if you need something that has a little bit more flexibility in what you can tow, the New Aire might win that. Would win that
Right.
category. And ladder. Now the New Aire does not have a ladder on the back of the motorhome, so we have to carry a separate ladder for whenever we need to check anything up on the roof. The Breeze had a ladder on the back, which is actually very convenient.
Yeah, I like having the ladder on the back. Unfortunately, we don't now. I have a telescoping ladder, which works, but it's I have to get it out of the bay. It's a little bit heavy and getting it up there. So, I went on the roof a lot more often when we had the Breeze because it was real easy to go up there. And for things like Starlink and stuff, we don't have that yet, but even thoughts of the Starlink, it'd be easier for us to mount it for multiple reasons. Because even if we don't mount it on the ladder on the back, we could use the ladder to get to the roof to use a mount. So even with that, it's going to come into play in the future for us when we get Starlink, because we'll probably get it like everybody else. In fact, we actually had it, but had to send it back. But that's a whole other story.
So, okay, now let's talk about Newmar and Tiffin as an overall experience. Now, in case you're not familiar with either company really, both until the last several years were family-owned, family-operated businesses. Tiffin in Red Bay, Alabama, Newmar in Nappanee, Indiana. A few years ago, Winnebago acquired Newmar. And about a year or two after that, Thor Industries acquired Tiffin. So they are both now owned by larger companies in the RV industry.
Yep.
Our experience with Tiffin started out pre-acquisition of Thor.
Yeah, we actually, we went to Red Bay once, owned by Tiffin, and the next time they were owned by Thor Industries.
Right. And all of our experience with Newmar has been after the Winnebago acquisition.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we're sharing as far as our experience. Let's talk about build quality, Tiffin versus Newmar. I was really happy with our Breeze. I thought our 2017 Breeze was very well built. It really gave us very little issues in the time that we owned it. And those that were mostly minor, save the one def issue that we had when we were in Grand Tetons National Park back in 2019.
Yeah, that was quite the deal.
But Tiffin stepped up and covered a huge tow for us in that situation, which they didn't have to. And they just paid the tow outright. We didn't have to come out of pocket for any of that.
Yeah, that was pre-Thor Industries. So we don't know, obviously, if that would happen today, because we were out of warranty when that happened.
Right.
We were still in our Cummins warranty, but the part of the Cummins warranty at that point didn't cover the tow. It would cover the repair,
right,
but not the tow. Well, the tow was $2,600. I mean,
right,
it was significant. And Tiffin stepped up. They paid for it, and we didn't even have to write a check or anything. They just gave the truck company that was repairing it a credit card and paid for it on the spot. So that was incredible customer service.
And I will link to that video so you can see it being loaded up
Yeah.
on the crazy trailer and everything if you're interested. I'll link that in the description. But yeah, we could not have been happier with that. Build quality from Newmar also has been very good. We have had very few issues with our Newmar, and when we have, they have stepped up as well. We have had to, on a couple of occasions, pay a mobile technician, and then Newmar has reimbursed us. So, I mean, we've been really happy with that experience.
Yeah, actually, one time we were kind of in a remote place in South Dakota, and it was just a water pump that went out, and us and Newmar, we were both trying to find a tech, and there just weren't any techs around. Luckily, a good friend of ours is a registered tech, and we knew he was in the area, called him, and Newmar said, absolutely, no problem. Pay him to do it, and we'll reimburse you. And they did. They had no questions about that. We got really lucky. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate that. And he got us taken care of, and they got us taken care of.
And that is one of the biggest issues. I know that one of the biggest questions we've always had whenever we have bought from a new manufacturer, new to us, is what's going to happen after the sale? How are you going to be supported as a customer? We have owned now, this is our 5th RV from 5 different manufacturers. And for us, the experience, customer service-wise, support-wise, from both Tiffin and Newmar has been exceptional.
Yep, superior to all the other companies.
Absolutely. So we have had great experiences with both. At this point, I don't think that I could place one over the other from our personal experience.
Yeah, nope, we can't. I think they both are top-notch on customer service.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's talk about the difference between visiting Red Bay, Alabama, where Tiffin is manufactured and also where their customer service center is, and Nappanee, Indiana, home of Newmar, for their factory and service center. We've visited both.
Yep.
We are big proponents for if you are thinking of buying an RV and your manufacturer or one that you're considering offers a factory tour, and you have the opportunity and the ability to go and see that factory tour, that's phenomenal. We have toured actually 4 different diesel motorhome manufacturers over the years. We have toured Thor Diesel, Newmar, Winnebago, and Tiffin. And we toured Newmar back in 2014 before we were doing videos, and I don't think they were going to let us film inside anyway, so we couldn't share that with you. But those tours, luckily, are about to start up again.
Yeah, they are. July of 2022. It's supposed to be starting up sometime this month, if it hadn't already started.
So if you're going to be in Nappanee, definitely check out the Newmar tour. It was fascinating. And we toured Tiffin back a couple of years ago when we were our first trip to Red Bay, Alabama, which would have been 2020. And we have a video on that. They let us shoot inside to show you a little bit about the inside, the tour, and what to expect from Tiffin and their service center, or their manufacturing facility, as well as their paint facility.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the paint booth too.
So I'll put links to those videos in case you're not able to get by Red Bay, but they are doing tours again now, we understand, so that's super exciting. But yeah, it's really interesting because if you look at, and I'm just going to use Class A motorhomes as an example because that's what we're most familiar with, one to another, different manufacturers, they all look basically the same on the outside. But when you see the different factory tours and you see how each company does things very uniquely and very differently, it's really fascinating.
Yeah, it blew us away at how different each manufacturer is at how they actually make the motorhome. So, strongly recommend that. That can really help determine if you're looking at making a big investment, that I would take those factory tours if you can.
Absolutely. So we're also big proponents for, and we have done this with 3 different manufacturers now, taking the RV to the customer service center of the manufacturer at least once to get the full experience, to let them go over it. Now, we're not saying don't go to your dealer because there are a lot of great dealers that provide good service out there, like our friends at National Indoor RV Centers. Hey, guys.
Hey.
We take our coach there. We've had body work done at NIRVC Atlanta. We've had annual maintenance done at NIRVC Dallas. We're not saying don't go to your dealer, but there's something special about having service work done by the manufacturer themselves at their customer service center, and a lot of people don't even realize that that's an option.
Well, especially when you're under warranty, because when you take it to get those warranty items fixed, they usually find other things in that coach that you didn't even know about. They don't have to call and get approvals. They are the manufacturer. They'll just fix it.
Right.
And anything they find, they will just fix it. And so it's an easy process if you can go, especially when you're under warranty. But you can even go after that, which we're going to discuss.
Now, having said that, we have been to both Tiffin. We took 2 trips to the Tiffin Customer Service Center during our ownership of our Breeze. One in 2020, pre-COVID. One in 2021, kind of during the height of COVID, or sort of, who knows how long that lasts, right? And we've taken 1 trip to the Newmar Service Center, and that was in May of 2022. And the experiences were similar in some ways, but very different in other ways.
Yeah, and I want to kind of explain, first of all, that with Newmar, we'll just start with Newmar. You have to set an appointment to go. You can't just show up. But if you have items, you can contact them, and they can set up an appointment for you to come in. And they normally will set so many days aside, and you stay in their facility in their campground, which is phenomenal.
Oh, it's so nice. It's right across from the service center.
Full hookups, and it is
concrete, grass between sites.
Oh yeah, it's a regular campground. It's
really
very nice. But the main thing is you're not paying for that. That is. It's free for you to stay there while you're getting service done at Newmar. And it doesn't matter the age of your coach. Your coach could be 15 years old, and you can still set an appointment there and get your work done. That is the way Newmar does it. Now, Tiffin is a totally different experience. Tiffin takes no appointments. Tiffin is a first-come, first-served basis. They do, however, give priority to people that are under warranty, but they work in people that aren't under warranty relatively quickly. But the only people that can stay in the Tiffin campground are the people that are within their year warranty of their motorhome.
And that's something that changed several years ago, but that's the way it's been every time we've visited.
Yeah, because if you knew back in the day, they had an incident happen there and their insurance company kind of changed their stuff. So if you're under warranty, you can stay in the Tiffin campground, which is, it's more like a rally style type campground. It's on pavement. There's really no grass. You're close to your neighbor, but it is full hookup. So it is nice. And when you stay there and you're under warranty, you don't pay anything.
Right. And you are right outside the gate of the Tiffin Service Center.
Yeah, and you just go get service when you need to get service. I mean, you go to the service center, you have to sign up there. Everybody does. No matter how old you are, you have to go up and sign up. You put down all the things that you want them to do. And then they have a guy that goes over that list. He comes out to you, usually within 24 hours, goes over your list, kind of gives you an estimate of when he thinks you're going to get in. Now, getting into the shop is different with Tiffin too, because when they call you and say, come to Bay 4, well, you have to bring your slides in and everything, drive your coach into Bay 4, drive it in, then you leave, they work on it, they'll call you when they're done, you come that day, because every day you go in and out if you stay for it. Same thing
unless
as
they're
Newmar.
doing, sometimes with paint or whatever, they might have to keep the rig in the shop overnight, or if they're doing major slide work or something like that. But for the most part, you get to spend the night in your coach every night.
Yeah, and that's awesome, and it's the same way with Newmar and Tiffin with that. The difference here, though, Tiffin, you drive your coach in and drive your coach out, set it up. Newmar, they come at 6 o'clock in the morning, they pick up your coach, they drive it in, and at 2:30, they bring it back out and they set it back up for you. And if you're there, they'll go over everything they worked on that day. Tiffin does the same thing about going over your coach, but it's when you go pick up the coach, they'll show you or talk to you about what they did that day. But you're responsible for getting the coach there and getting it out.
Now, I think it's important you talked about where the folks that are in their 1-year warranty can stay at the Tiffin campground. If you are beyond your 1-year warranty, which was always the case with us when we visited, there are several campgrounds all around the town of Red Bay and the surrounding areas that are small campgrounds. A lot of them are just pavement with full hookups. There is one really, kind of more like RV resort style campground in Red Bay called Red Bay Acres.
Yeah, very nice.
Which it's a traditional style RV park with grass between the spaces and full hookups, and there's a restaurant there and a lake in the middle.
Very
and all
good
of that.
food.
Yes, which you can go eat there even if you're not staying at Red Bay Acres.
Correct.
But then all over town and even the surrounding areas, there are areas where they have taken what was maybe a parking lot for a shopping center or something like that, or an empty lot, and they've put in a campground. It's typically just a place to park with full hookups, but it usually, when we were going, it was $25 a night at any of those. Then they also had weekly discounts and monthly discounts. If you are more than a year old on your Tiffin and or their Tiffin campground is full, those are your options. Now, the good thing about those things is that there are a lot of options, and we really like the downtown Red Bay campground. Super nice people. We were a block off of Main Street. We could walk on Main Street every night. They had a little fenced dog area that we could use for Star, And it was about a mile to a mile and a half from the customer service center. So at 7 o'clock or in the morning or whatever it was with Tiffin, we could just load up and drive into town or drive to Tiffin. But nobody really knows how long they're going to be staying in Red Bay because there are no appointments. Everything's first come, first served. So Tiffin doesn't know how long they're going to be working on your coach until you're there.
Yeah.
So getting a spot in one of the parks can sometimes be a little bit tricky. You can call ahead and you can tell them when you want to come, but they don't always know when everybody else is going to be leaving. So you have to be a little bit flexible. Having said that, though, we never had trouble getting a spot in Red Bay.
No, we didn't. And with that brings another difference with Tiffin. So if your coach is 3 years old or newer, you get to go into the full, you could have the full facility. Now, after a year, you got to stay in one of these other parks, and you're paying for that yourself. But you have access to be there as long as you need to be there.
Right.
But if you are older than 3 years and less than 10 years,
Right.
then you can do what they call their express pay service. And their express pay service gets you 2 techs for I don't know how many hours, but it's less than a day. You get 2 techs to try to take care of your list, and they might be able to get it all done, they might not. If they don't get it all done, then you can't go back the next day. Tiffin to Tiffin. They require that if you want to come back to Express Bay, 6 months from that point, you can come back and try to finish your list, or you can get the folks from Red Bay there that most of them have worked for Tiffin for long periods of time or still are working for Tiffin to come help you with those other items.
And I think that is an important point. And if you're more than 10 years old, you can't get service work done at Tiffin at all.
At all.
However, you can still go to Red Bay, Alabama and get service work performed by skilled technicians who a lot of them either, like Tom said, work currently for or used to work for Tiffin. And they can do anything you need. If you want custom cabinets done, if you want new furniture, if you want something repaired,
paint the coach.
There's somebody there that can take care of anything.
Anything.
And sometimes they will come to your site, depending on, how they work and what they do. Now, the nice thing is, there are some of those around Nappanee, Indiana as well. There's a custom cabinet shop just a few miles.
No, not even a few miles. There's one literally right around the corner.
You're right, from Newmar. That we've seen their work, and it was amazing.
Yes.
This furniture here, if you know, we used to have recliners
with a little table
spot,
in the middle.
And we decided we wanted to change that out. So while we were in Nappanee, Indiana, we took the short drive to Lambright Furniture in Topeka, Indiana. And they make furniture. It's an Amish family. They make furniture. They also, you can buy their furniture through other distributors as well, but we went straight to them. They actually had this on the showroom floor, and it fit our space perfectly. So when we were done with Newmar, we drove over to their shop in Topeka, and they took out our recliners and the table in between and installed this for us. So you have options for that either way, either in Nappanee, Indiana, or Red Bay, Alabama.
Yeah.
And that is awesome.
Yes, it is. I mean, they're both incredible towns. The labor force there is phenomenal. I mean, everybody's working, hard-working Americans there. And
in both places.
In both places. We love both towns. And you can literally get, without even going to the service centers, you can get just about anything you want done on your RV from somebody in that area.
And if you don't know who to go to, you can go into the customer center for Newmar or for Tiffin and ask for recommendations of local craftsmen, and they will give you recommendations.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Now, if you are getting service work done at either Tiffin or Newmar and you have pets, both of them have great pet lounges that we spent time in. They also have non-pet lounges for those folks without furry friends. or you can just go and explore the local area while your RV is being worked on. Both Nappanee, Indiana and Red Bay, Alabama are fantastic small towns.
Yeah.
They've got museums and things like that to spend your time in. There's small restaurants, especially around Nappanee. But there's also some small restaurants in and around Red Bay. But there's also a lot of other stuff in the surrounding areas that are fascinating to see and do.
Yeah, so on your weekends, obviously weekends, they're not working in the centers, but you may be getting work done from somebody else on the weekends.
Right.
But if you're not, there's a lot of interesting things to do in both areas.
Absolutely. So the Nappanee, Indiana experience, the Red Bay, Alabama experience, we loved both.
Absolutely.
And we highly recommend both.
Yeah. Yeah, because the workmanship at both places, just to let you know, was phenomenal. Their techs at both places are incredible. They're very personable. The experience is wonderful. So that...
And that is a good point. You know, the first time we went to Tiffin in 2020, pre-COVID, we were able to go be at the coach, ask questions of the technicians while they were working on it. 2021 was a little dicier because, COVID was going on and they had more restrictions on access to the coaches.
You could not stay in the coach at all.
We don't know what the restrictions are now at Tiffin. If you own a Tiffin and you've been to the service center recently, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how they're doing things now. We were just at Newmar in May of 2022, and that's our only experience with the Newmar Service Center so far. But we had full access to our coach the entire time we were there, full access to ask questions of the technicians.
While they were working on the coach. I mean, I went in several times and made lunch and stuff and brought it back to the pet lounge where Stacy was with Star and Astro. And the Newmar facility is relatively new, and it's a wonderful facility. I mean, it's very, very clean in there. I don't even know how they keep it so clean. It's crazy. The Tiffin facility is more like a repair facility. It's not as new, but they still do phenomenal work.
Yeah, we were really happy with the work we got done in both places. Now, the first time we went to the Tiffin Service Center, we had a list, going in, because we had saved up our list on things that weren't really impacting our ability to use the Breeze. So we had a pretty extensive list of things we wanted them to check out while we were there. And we were a little afraid of how much it was going to cost us because we were not under warranty at that point.
But it was pre-Thor.
And
Thor Industries that bought Tiffin.
But at that point, we were really impressed by how inexpensive the service was. Now, we went back a year later. The prices had gone up.
Yeah, for what I think was a little less work that they did the second time we went back, we paid more. But to be fair, Newmar, we had a lot of friends that we met at Newmar that were after warranty. It's not inexpensive there by all means, but the quality of work is phenomenal. So I think Tiffin versus Newmar on cost when you're out of warranty is probably very, very similar today.
And our experience with the work that they both did was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now let's talk about overall experience, Tiffin versus Newmar. All of this that we have said, if we ever get another coach, would we buy another Tiffin?
Well, I mean, I think absolutely a Tiffin would be in the conversation. We would obviously consider another Tiffin. We would obviously consider another Newmar. We love Newmar. We love this coach. I don't see us buying another coach, to be honest with you, because this is the coach I always wanted anyway, and now I've got, with our lithium and solar package we put on this, and we put a lot of money into this coach after we even bought it. I want to run the wheels off of it, but for sure we would consider Tiffin again. Our experience was phenomenal with them. We don't know what the customer service is like now with Tiffin. That Thor Industries is really got their hills dug into Tiffin, but I don't see anything out there that seems like it's really changed a lot. I know they've made some changes there. Newmar, owned by Winnebago, we have the same issue there too, but the people we talked to, including the service guys and the service riders and stuff at Newmar, said they feel like it's been a good thing at Newmar because they've actually made some improvements there. So far so good. So absolutely, I say yes to a Newmar or yes to a Tiffin. And you know, if we were looking at going bigger, which I can't imagine we'd ever do that, but if we're ever looking at a 43 or 44 footer or whatever, we may look at Integra also, you know, because we see a lot of those out there.
Well, and that's important here. We're not saying that Tiffin and Newmar are the only options and are right for everybody. For us, when we bought our Tiffin Breeze in 2018, it was absolutely the right coach for us at that time in our lives.
Yep.
When we bought our Newmar New Aire last year in 2021, it was absolutely and still continues to be the right coach for us at this point in our lives.
For sure.
But everybody's needs and wants are different.
Yes.
So, you know, this is just our experience with these two brands. We have owned 5 different brands of RVs at this point in our lives, and of the 5 brands that we have owned, we have been most impressed and happiest with Tiffin and Newmar.
For sure.
And that's our experience. Now, I wish that I could show you the view that we are looking at right now as we record this. Wait, we can.
Yeah,
Let's do it. This is absolutely beautiful where we are right now. We are enjoying the heck out of the summer. If you have a guess as to where we are, I'd love to hear your guess. I'm not going to tell you because I want to see what people think.
Throw some guesses down there. And in the future, you will see this place on one of our videos in the future. But wow, it is a stunning place.
Yes, it is. I'd also love to hear from our Tiffin friends and our Newmar friends out there. If you've got more to throw into this conversation and your experiences, please leave us a comment. Let us know what your experience has been. We'd love to hear it. And hey, you know, the other thing is we've heard from several folks lately who have said they're not always getting the notifications when we post a new video. So I want to remind you, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell to up your chances of getting notified by YouTube when we publish a new video. But the best surefire way to know that you're going to see all of our content, whether it be a new video, a podcast episode, a blog post, whatever it might be, is to go to our website, rvtexasyall.com, and sign up for our newsletter. We send out a newsletter typically on Sundays. We don't send one out every week, but we never send one out more than once a week.
Right.
And it will give you all of our latest information, all of our latest content that we've published in the previous week, so that you don't have to worry about missing anything. So I'll put the link in the comment and the description so you can join us over there. And until next time, y'all, safe travels.
And happy camping.
Bye.
Bye.